Hi, welcome back. We're continuing on with Netflix's series, My Unorthodox Life, being racist, false, and promoting child abuse. We covered discrimination against women in the first part. This part, we're going to start out talking about fundamentalism and then see how far we can get through the long list of topics. Here we go. Mrs. Hart says, this has nothing to do with Judaism nor religion. This has to do with fundamentalism. Then she tells us that she believes Jewish, Muslim, and Christian fundamentalism, quote, is so dangerous, end quote. So Mrs. Hart doesn't define what she means by fundamentalism until much later. So what do? I go to the trusted source, Google. Let's see what Google has to say about what fundamentalism is. Google defines fundamentalism as a form of a religion, especially Islam or Protestant Christianity, that upholds belief in the strict literal interpretation of Scripture. The second definition that they give is strict adherence to the basic principles of any subject or discipline. For example, free market fundamentalism. So first, Mrs. Hart groups Orthodox Judaism with Protestantism and fundamental Islamism if you take Google's definition. So if you take fundamental Islam, you're going to look at Wahhabism and the Salafists, and also maybe the Muslims in Iran. And she thinks that we're like them. But it's interesting that Google does not categorize Orthodox Jews as fundamentalists the way that Mrs. Hart does. So let's look at some differences. In fundamental Islam, and that is not to say that everybody in Islam holds by this, but in fundamental Islam, in the Quran, it says everyone either has to be a Muslim, they have to be killed, or they can live as a second-class citizen, paying taxes to the Muslims, and the leaders of those communities have to be humiliated at least once a year in a public square. Now, again, there are plenty of Muslims today who are not living by that, but that's fundamental Islam. Judaism, on the other hand, we believe that people can convert to Judaism, but you don't have to. In Islam, they believe that everybody should adhere to Islamic law. In Judaism, we believe that only Jews need to adhere to Jewish law. In Islam, as I told you, everyone has to either be Muslim, be killed, or be a second-class citizen. In Judaism, we believe that anyone can get a part of heaven, can get a part of the world to come by following some very basic laws, the laws of Noah. Like in Noah's Ark, there were 7 laws of Noah, and that is all that the non-Jews have to do. For Jews, we have 613 laws upon us. In a sense, we look at it as a burden or like a yoke that a cow has to parry as it's pulling plow. As a matter of fact, if someone wants to convert to Judaism, we are required by Jewish law to make 3 good faith, sincere attempts to talk them out of it. The reason is because they don't need to be Jewish to have a part of the world to come. But if they take on Judaism, then they need to follow all of these 613 commandments, or I should say the 300 or so that we're able to do today until our temple's rebuilt in Jerusalem for the 3rd time. And then if someone makes errors with that, then they can put stains on their soul. So we think that people who are not Jewish are much better off not becoming Jewish and just do some basic laws of humanity, such as not murdering, not committing idolatry, having a government with just laws and courts and things like that. So to compare us to radical Islam, saying that Mrs. Hart rejects all fundamentalism because it's all bad, is really it's a lie. It's a lie to group us with radical Islamists. So let's take a look at a group of fundamentalist Muslims in Iran. They don't seem to be too happy with the United States. Now here, let's take a look at a group of fundamentalist Jews.
یک فریاد است و اون مرگ بر امریکا. نفرت و خشم ملت مسلمان بر امریکا رژیم کفر شیطان، بر امریکا رژیم کفر شیطان. امریکا همیشه نبرد ما. فریاد انسان‌های روی زمین، فریاد انسان‌های روی زمین، فریاد انسان‌های روی زمین. مرگ بر امریکا پلید لعین.
Western Kentucky, what else have you done? Not really. What was you studying? Speech. Yeah. Nice place, Kentucky.
What are you learning here in English?
About milk and meat. The prohibition of eating milk and meat together.
Now the Talmud adds on to it. Deuteronomy has a lot of dietary restrictions. The Talmud adds more to it or explains what's in Deuteronomy.
According to
Fundamentalist Orthodox Jews don't commit terrorism. We don't strap dynamite on ourselves and blow up buildings or blow up buses or blow up cars. We don't scream death to another country or death to another people. This is strictly her, Mrs. Hart, smearing Orthodox Jews. So let's talk about the other fundamentalist religion, the one that Google mentions. Protestant Christians, it says. So first of all, I don't know why they call Protestant Christians fundamentalist, whereas Bible-believing Catholics also believe in their fundamentals of religion. And as a matter of fact, through history, the Catholics against Protestants, they've murdered each other, burnt each other at the stake based on religious principles We don't do that. Jews, we don't do that. We never did that. We don't do that. It isn't what we want to do. So it's just not fair. But if you want to look at Protestants today who are fundamentalist, evangelical Christians, let me ask you something. Have you ever met any evangelical Christians? I know you've seen what the Kingsman wants to make you think evangelical Christians are like, but have you ever met these people? I've met many, many, many evangelical Christians. They are the nicest, most accepting, totally non-racist people you'll meet. They're altruistic. They live for a higher good. I mean, she's just calling them dangerous, calling us dangerous is ridiculous. And among the Muslims, there are lots and lots of Muslim people that to call them dangerous, and they would say that they believe in the Quran. I mean, to call them dangerous is just not fair. And you look at all the Arab countries and other Muslim countries that have made peace with Israel now. I mean, in Morocco, the king of Morocco loves Jews. He's been friendly with Jews for many, many decades. So, and what you see now is in many of the Muslim nations where the people are more educated, they're really starting to leave or separate themselves from that fundamentalist, radical, political Islam, and they're going to making relationships and friendships with the Western countries and with Israel and with Jews. And as Jews, we don't have any fear going to, Bahrain, United Arab Emirates, Morocco. There's plenty of Arab countries that are now very friendly to us. So it's just not fair for Mrs. Hart to characterize religious fundamentalists that way. So let's look at the other definition of fundamentalism that Google gives. So the other definition of fundamentalism from Google is strict adherence to the basic principles of any subject or discipline, such as free market fundamentalism. So now I'm going to show you some really dangerous fundamentalists because Mrs. Hart says she's against all fundamentalism. This is the fundamentals of physics. Boy, those physicists, you got to watch out for them. They are really dangerous. Okay, so it might be a little known fact, but when the atomic bomb was first developed, in the United States, there were physicists that were concerned that when they set off the first atomic bomb, it might actually cause the entire atmosphere to ignite, burning up the entire world. And I'll tell you also, in the last, 5 years or so, given the Large Hadron Collider, where particles are accelerated at close to the speed of light and crash into each other, physicists made tiny black holes. And the truth is, I wasn't sure, from a physics perspective. From a religious perspective, I know that God's not going to destroy us. But from a physics perspective, when you make a little black hole and you got to have all your calculations, you believe it's not going to exist for more than a tiny, quadrillionth of a second, you don't know that it's not going to swallow the entire world. So actually, maybe physicists, maybe they are the fundamentalists that are really dangerous. Oh, Mrs. Hart is right. Let's look at another group of fundamentalists. Look at this one, fundamentals of accounting. Oh man, if I'm walking down the street and I see a group of accountants coming at me, I'm getting out of the way. I'm diving under a car. I'm afraid they're going to convert me to GAAP accounting. I mean, they're learning fundamentalism. So let's look at another group of fundamentalists. Whoa, nurses. Fundamentals of nursing. Whoa, those nurses, you better watch out. They might try to stick needles in you. So let's talk about someone who clearly is a fundamentalist. Mrs. Hart is a fundamentalist. She is a fundamentalist at pursuing hedonism. You see that throughout this series, right? She has certain hedonistic drives or desires, and she is absolutely fundamental and dogmatic, not only about pursuing them herself, but making sure and insisting that everyone around her follows them also. Also, you can see from the series, when it comes to dedicating yourself to a group of fundamental principles, Mrs. Hart is relentless in trying to cause her children to go towards her hedonistic fundamentalism also. So when she criticizes fundamentalists, as being dangerous, guess what, Mrs. Hart? Look in the mirror. There's the fundamentalist you need to be worried about. So later, Mrs. Hart says, fundamentalism is thinking that girls are bad and that if you speak to them, you're a sinner. If you watch television, it's a waste of time because you should be learning Torah all day long. As I showed in part 1, according to Orthodox Judaism or Judaism, God made people. God gave us the Torah and gave us the full understanding of what people are about. And we know men are animals. So among Mrs. Hart's fundamentalist ideas, she's against a man curbing his animal instinct, avoiding wasting time by not watching television. And she's against men further increasing their spirituality and their intellectual development by learning Torah. So Mrs. Hart is against Orthodox Judaism because we're fundamentalists, which means that she must be against our laws that prevent us from gossiping, cause us to strive to be honest, cause us to try to be careful with others, cause us to give respect to our parents, cause us to dedicate ourselves to a higher good. These are things she's against. Now, let me show you a little example here. I told you I live in a community called Lakewood, New Jersey. There's about 70,000 or 80,000 Orthodox Jews here. We have our own Lakewood, New Jersey directory. You have the white pages with the people and the yellow pages with businesses. The truth is, I had to go get one from my neighbor because now everything's online. But here we go. If we look in the yellow pages and we go, A is automobile sales, and B and C is caterers and counselors and clothing. I'm going to go to G. There's DE or electricians, electrical supplies, E, F, G. Let's go to G. And in G, we come to a section called Gemachs. And here it is. It starts right there. Gemachs. G-E-M-A-C-H. Or put an S at the end. An S at the end if you want to, in English, do the plural. A Gemach stands for Gemilas Chassidim. It means good deeds of loving kindness. What a Gemach is, no rabbi told anybody to do this, but people just decide to get together and provide things for free. Services for free, goods for free, rentals for free. So and this is the Orthodox Jewish community. Let's look at the Gemachs. You call the number, it's just somebody's home. So you have a Gemach's baby equipment, a band for pumping on Shabbos. Oh, maybe that's not the one I should have started out with, but it's the first one here. We'll leave it to your minds. A mother's just given birth, and okay. Baby backpacks and snugglies. Baby equipment to donate or pick up. Baby food, baby layette, baby preemie supplies. All these are different telephone numbers to call, and you can get these things loaned to you or rented to you for free, or given to you if it's something that's not reusable. A baby stroller Gemach, bassinet Gemach, car seats Gemach, Duna car seat Gemach. I'm not sure what a Duna is. I've heard that word before from my daughters. I think it might be a kind of a carriage or something. Esther Rossi Sate Gemach. It's pack and plays, bassinets, porta grips. Okay, that's just the baby Gemachs. Now we'll go on. Gemachs for, we have circumcisions. So circumcision is called a bris in Hebrew. So bris Avram Pidyon Haben, outfits, blankets, pillow, and bris card, Gemach. Benchers, which are little books where after you eat bread and have a meal, you say this long blessings. They'll give those to you for you to use. Bris Gemach. Bris Gemach certified mohel. So that means the rabbi who does the circumcision will do it for free if you don't have any money. A bris outfit and pillow Gemach. Bris outfit and pillow Gemach. These are just different telephone numbers to call. Bris outfit pillowcase Gemach. Let's go on. Next page. Bris outfit pillowcase Gemach. Bris outfit pillowcase. Bris outfits pillowcase blanket. Bris pillow. These are all different telephone numbers. I just have to move on. That's all this page, this whole column, down to this column. And now we go to the next topic of Gemachs. This is Gemach's clothing. A Teres Esther Kala gown Gemach. If a girl's getting married, she can get a beautiful wedding gown lent to her for free. The Bertram children gown Gemach. Oh, because the kids who are part of the bridal party, they need gowns also. boys' cap gamak, boys' clothing, boys' wedding clothing gamak, boys' tuxedo gamak. You have to go to a tuxedo store. Nope. If you're an Orthodox Jew, part of an Orthodox Jewish community, just call these people and they'll let you use it for free. And they'll have a whole group. Oh, here's another one. Boys' tuxedo gamak. Kaste Rivka Rakol, that's boys' wedding outfits. Children's kasana, that's a wedding, dresses and gowns. And it goes on and on. More. Hospitality, nightgown gamak. I'm not sure what that's about. Infant simcha wear. Simcha is a happy event, a celebration. Of course, your baby has to go, your infant has to go there to the wedding well outfitted. So you call this gamak. Jewelry, costume, jewelry gamak. Someone doesn't have money? You want jewelry? Great. They'll give you the jewelry to wear for the wedding. Kala is a bride. Kala gown gamaks. Kala headpieces. Or I guess when women get married, sometimes they wear like a little like crown. I guess that's what they're talking about. Kala shoe gamak. Oh, because the bride has to have, nice, great looking shoes too. Here's another kala shoe gamak. Here's another a canaric gown gamak. And it goes on and on. So petticoat gamak. I'm not sure what a petticoat is. Something that women wear. And it goes on and on. More and more gamaks for weddings. Now for food gamak. Bris chesed, to give you free of charge food for the celebration after having a circumcision. Chocolate molds and chocolate fountains. Then we're going to miscellaneous gamaks. A parak await. Sponsor someone saying Tehillim. Tehillim is psalms set in someone's honor. So for free, they'll sponsor that to pay someone to say psalms for someone who's passed away. Add your gamak to Lakewood's gamak list gamak. So here is a gamak that will help you to add your gamak to this list of gamaks. So that's the gamak of gamaks. Try to say that 3 times backwards. Okay. Airbed compressor, airbed pumps, air pump gamak, airbed gamak. Here's animal traps gamak, artist gamak. Bring joy to someone with a perfect personalized order music, all for free. Nobody told these people to do it except God, because he says, do nice things for people. Oh, by the way, you think we do things only for Jews? Here's a picture of, I sponsored several thousand care packages being sent to our American troops in Iraq and Afghanistan. And this is a Marine Corps group. I don't know what you would call the size of that group, who sent me a Marine Corps flag back and thanking me for sponsoring all those care packages being sent to them. Continuing on, there's babysitters gamak. You get babysitters for free. Baking pans, a beeper gamak, a beam detector gamak. I guess if you'd want to put up something in your house and you know where the beams are behind the drywall, you have to go buy one. Blood pressure monitor gamak. It goes on. Waterproofing waterproof and protector slings for adult arms. They have CDs. They have for baking challah, which is the Jewish bread we usually use for the Sabbath, where it's like interlocking, kind of like braided bread. And it goes on this whole page and this whole page. Electric heaters, easy pass gamak, driver's manual gamak, dinette set, fax, humidifiers and nebulizers, hospital gowns, hand trucks. And it goes on for another 2 pages, double column. Ladder gamak, leaf blower gamak. It goes to lost and found, hotline gamak, mezuzahs gamak, which is something we put up with parts of the Torah, the Bible, on all of our doorposts. Moving blankets gamak, moving boxes gamak. This whole page also. Tool gamak, some pumpkin gamak. It just goes on and on. Here's snake for toilets gamak. Like if a toilet is stuffed up, you want to put an electric drill to this and it'll cause that wire to spin. And it turns out my brother-in-law is the one running the gamak and I paid for those snakes. Anyway, it goes on to another 2 pages of gamaks. And I can't even just read them all. You're going to get bored of it. But, these are books, different kinds of books, gamak. There's so much stuff here. More books, gamak. And now here again for brides, a kala, headpiece gamak, and amplifiers, a microphone, a gamak, baskets, gamak, bekers. Beker's a silver cup at a fancy event. We many times have grape juice or wine. We say a blessing over that. Here they'll give you the fancy silver cup to use. Then you give it back afterwards. And then we go on. Another 2 sets of pages, double column each, of gamak, tablecloths, tables, urns, vases. You're getting an idea about us fundamentalist, ultra-Orthodox, radical Jews, how dangerous we are. We help people. A chair gamak, you're having there's 2 chair gamaks, 3 chair, 4, 5, there's 6, 7, 8. There's 8 different chair gamaks. You're having an event, having people over, and you don't have chairs for free. They'll bring them over for you. They'll pick them up afterwards. Let's go to the next page. And it comes now to the end. Just get the idea. This Mrs. Hart, who's living her life to pursue her own passions and her own impulses, is knocking us down. She is barking up the wrong tree. And I'm really surprised that Netflix would allow such bigotry to occur on their channel.